Hey everybody, you're watching CAD Roll Hunter. In this video, we're going to be coin roll hunting. Coin roll hunting is getting a bunch of rolls of coins from the bank. In this case, it's $1,000 in $2 coins. We've got 20 rolls, $50 each roll. The whole point of coin roll hunting is to see what can we find when we get a lot of coins to look through. So today we're looking at toonies, $2 Canadian coins. We could find colorized coins. We could find silver toonies. That's right, silver toonies. We might even find counterfeit coins. They are rampant. They're everywhere. What are we going to find in this box? Stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's James and you're watching my channel CAD Roll Hunter, and we are going to be coin roll hunting Canadian toonies, $2 coins. One of the most common questions I get is, where do you get all the rolls? And it's really simple. I just go to the bank and I withdraw money from my account. In this case, I just ask for $1,000 in $2 coins. Or I'll ask, do you have a box of toonies? And the tellers will know what that is. So I'm just going to withdraw $1,000. I'm going to look through all these coins. If I find nothing, I'm just going to take it back to the bank and deposit it. So I don't lose anything. It doesn't cost me a penny. If I keep a toonie, of course, it's going to cost me $2. If I keep a bunch of toonies, it's going to cost me even more than that. So I want to be selective when I'm trying to determine which of these I want to keep in my collection and which I just want to send back to the bank. Without further ado, we're just going to hop into this very first roll and see what lies inside. Is there going to be any treasure in the roll? Well, this is what a roll of toonies looks like in your hand. Toonies from 2012 on all have edge lettering, so you can see Canada $2 there. And older ones won't have any edge lettering, but they'll all have these serrated edges. So we've got these 14 or 16 serrations depending on the year, and then there is a spot without serrations, and then more serrations again. So all I do is I just lay them down, and I'm going to look at them in detail. If I find anything worth looking more closely at, I'm going to bring you in. Well, the first thing that we're going to take a closer look at is this 1996. This is pretty circulated, but there are 3 die varieties we want to look at. I'm going to throw it under the scope here. And the 3 things we're looking at is the polar bear smoking a cigar, and it's a little die chip by the polar bear's mouth here. And then the other one is a polar bear that looks like it's got a horn on its head. We don't see either of those. And the third variety is the no ice variety. There's no ice, these lines between the polar bear's legs. We don't have either of them, and this is a pretty circulated coin. We're not going to keep it. We're just going to roll this up and take it back to the bank. But we're going to get lots of 1996s. This is the most common year for the toonie because it was the year it was introduced, because they were getting rid of all the $2 bills, so they had to replace all of those in circulation with these coins. So another one you want to be checking out is the 2000 Knowledge. It's a bit of a different design, and there are 3 varieties in particular we want to look at. I'll throw this one under the scope. And each of them is actually worth some money. They might be worth like 20 bucks, even in circulated condition. The first one is the Pedestal Zero. It's got a little dot here on the last 0 in the year 2000. It's just a die chip, but it's a variety that is sought after by collectors. And we'll flip it over, and the other ones are very similar. There's the Pedestal S, which has a little die chip at the base of the S, and the Pedestal D at the base of the D in dollars. We didn't find any of that here, and again, this one also is not nice enough to keep on its own without those varieties. We're still in roll number 2, and here is a bit of a different design. This was commemorating the 10th anniversary of the toonie. It was introduced in 1996. This is the 2006. And they had a naming contest to name the bear, the polar bear on the toonie. This is a little bit of a different design here. And the successful name in the competition was Churchill. So that's Churchill, the polar bear, on the Canadian $2 coin. This is the only year that had this particular design. And here's another 2006. This is not a commemorative. This is just the normal design, so you can find both of those. Roll number 3, and it looks like we're going to get a really nice one of those 2000 Knowledge toonies. This doesn't have the pedestal on the 0. We'll flip it over. And it doesn't look like we've got anything. It's a beautiful coin, though. We'll take a closer look and confirm that S looks completely normal, and so does that D. But I think I'm going to hold on to that one. It is a beautiful looking coin. That appears to be in a mint state. Look at that. Same roll, and we're going to get a colorized coin. Our first one of the hunt, and it's one I don't find very often. This is the 2018 Armistice with that bright red poppy. It's in pretty nice condition. That is a beautiful one. The Armistice from 2018. Awesome. And the very last coin of this roll is pretty grungy and dirty, but it is also 100% fake. It says 2004. This is not a real toonie. This is what is known as a camel toe toonie. I'll throw this one under the scope. It's a pretty good reproduction, but look at the surface of the coin. This is not the finish that we would find on a real toonie. And a lot of the detail looks good, but there are a few things that stand out. One in particular is this paw. That is the split. It looks like a hoof, like a camel toe. And these lines here are really pronounced. They're not right. And there are a few other things that are going to be a little off on this coin here. The maple leaf isn't quite in the right position. The queen's going to look a little bit different. This is a fake coin, and I just about tossed it away, which you should probably do anyway, but that is it. We got our first camel toe toonie, and it's been years since I had a box with no fakes in it, so they are everywhere. Most people have no idea. The tellers at the bank can't tell them apart. Most ordinary people can't tell them apart. I know what I'm looking for, but I don't expect that anyone out on the street is going to know. These are being used every single day in transactions. People are passing them around like real toonies. Roll number 4, we got several 2024s. Some of them are just the polar bear, but this one here is the low mint, 1 million minted, 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Air Force. We'll hold on to that guy for the board. That is a low mintage commemorative. And I almost missed it. I was just starting to put them back into the roll, and I found another one. I don't know how I missed it. It's got the same obverse as the regular 2024, but that is 2 in the same roll. First coin of roll number 5 is another camel toe toonie. So we've got 2 already, and that's not looking too good. I pulled up Brent Mackey, a friend of mine from the Waterloo Coin Society. His website, it is cameltoetoonies.ca. And he's got all sorts of information on them. And one page I've pulled up already is the defect gallery. He has cataloged all of the die varieties, or maybe all of the die varieties, because I think we may have found a slightly different variety here. I think it's probably an early stage of one of the varieties on here. I'll throw this under the scope and we'll take a peek, show you what I'm looking at. So this is where having a scope is actually very helpful, because I couldn't quite discern some of the cracks, and I thought this might have been an earlier stage. But when I look over here, this is reverse E. And you can see there's where the red lines are, that's where all the die cracks are, and we've got them all here. You can see it on the C. You can see it going right through the N, which you see on the bottom here. You can see it going through the D. If I just move it over, we can see a big die crack in the A, and then down here by the 2. But what I couldn't quite see is the die cracks running along here. There is a die crack all through. I think that's a die crack there. There's actually a die crack running all through this polar bear, right down to the bottom and just in by the O of dollar. That's what he's showing here. So really interesting. Somebody was really working the dies pretty hard to produce all these counterfeits, and that's the result of it right there. The website is really, really helpful. It's got all of the markers to look for to identify the camel toe toonies, as well as, if you really want to dive into it, all the different die varieties that Brent's found. So check it all out at www.cameltoetoonies.ca. We're still in that roll now. Here is a 2010. There's a couple of varieties to look for. One is the no waterline variety. Particularly, we're looking to see if we're missing the detail in the water. And I can see texture in amongst the little bits of ice in there. You can see it all down there. The no water line doesn't have that kind of detail. It's a flat surface. The other one is with respect to the serrations. These should have 16 serrations, but there was a variety where they used a different collar and it only had 14. And those are a little bit more scarce. So you might want to look for both of those things to get both of those varieties, the 16 and 14 serrations. I just opened up roll number 6, and when I took a peek in there, I saw another commemorative. It looks pretty nice. It is going to be the Summit series. I'll get it out of here. We'll take a closer look. That is a beauty. I love sports-themed coins, and this one depicts the 1972 Summit series between Canada and the USSR. This is the 15th anniversary from 2022, and it's also low minted. Just minted at 1 million for the non-color. It comes in a colorized version, minted at 2 million. That's probably even harder one to come by because the colorized versions really stand out, and even casual collectors might pick them out and hold on to them, whereas this one they might not even notice. Now here's another one we absolutely want to find in color. It is the Dance of the Spirits 2017. This is a Confederation commemorative, and it depicts the Northern Lights, and the colorized version is glow in the dark. One of my all-time favorites. I still have yet to find coin roll hunting. Here is a 2023 commemorative. It has the Queen on it. Remember, she passed away in 2022, so unusual to have the monarch after their death. It's marking the 70 years of her reign, and this commemorative could either be colorized, which would be very cool, or non-colorized, in which case it's going to be minted at just 1 million. And it is the Jean-Paul Riopelle. It is minted at just 1 million. This comes in a colorized version as well. Very cool, great find. Roll number 8, and we're going to get a really nice looking older toonie. This almost looks to be in a mint state. Yeah, it is beautiful. Look at that. Flip it over. And this is a 2007. So with this design, it could be as late as 2012 and as early as 1996. But I'm going to hold on to that one because this might well be an upgrader in my own collection. Well, I think we're going to get a couple to look at here because there is a colorized coin. That is a beautiful one. That's the Riopelle in color. Just our second color for the board. But I think we're going to get here one we can check for another variety. It says the War of 1812, and this particular coin has a variety called the Extra Sail. I'll throw this under the scope. I'll show you what we're looking at. So this is just going to be the normal variety here. There's a sail here and a sail here, and then you'll see there are a couple of lines that go up here to other parts of the mast. The Extra Sail variety, this space between the sail and this line, this negative space, actually appears to have the same look as all the rest of the sails. So it's called the Extra Sail. That looks like a sail as opposed to the space between a line and the sail. That's not what we have here, but one to look for anyhow. Very first coin of roll number 9. We got our second Riopelle non-color low mint. I am just making my way through roll number 10. I've got it laid down here. And I haven't even looked at it yet, but I want you to notice this second coin here, and it looks like it might be a brand new coin. And so when I see that, in my experience, there's a slight possibility that this is actually a real toonie, and an overwhelmingly high likelihood that it's fake. So we'll just skip this guy out of the way here. And it is a fake. It's a camel toe toonie. I can tell right away. The finish and everything doesn't look quite right. When I flip it over, it's got that split paw. It's certainly a fake because these, well, they are relatively new. So they look new, but the finish just looks different. And that is our third fake toonie of the box. End of roll number 11. And there is another commemorative. This one is going to be the 2020 Victory. It's not in great shape, but that is a low mint coin as well. Also just minted at 1 million. This is roll number 12, and this is an unfortunate sight. Look at that. We've got a dime in our toonie roll. Absolutely. I can see a little reeded edge in there. The question is, were we up a dime or are we short $1.90? And we're just going to count it up together. There's 5. There's 10. There's 15. There's 20. And there's 25. We were actually up a dime. Here I thought we were going to be shorted. That's always the peril of coin roll hunting, but now I got to see if we got any gems in here. Well, we are going to get another low mintage coin. It's the 2021 Insulin non-color 1 million minted. Roll 13, and we got a pretty nice looking older one, and it is a 1996. It is almost uncirculated. We'll just quickly check and see if it's any of those three varieties you want to find on a 1996. So I see the ice, and I don't see a cigar, and I don't see a horn. But that is a bit of a beauty. Roll 14, there is another RCAF commemorative. This might be the nicest so far. Beauty. Roll number 15. This is going to be our second victory non-color low mint, and it's a beauty. Well, we're at the bottom of the box here. Roll number 20. And we got one more fake. This one says 2004. It is another camel toe to add to the tally. It is our fourth fake of the hunt. Well, that was another fun hunt looking through $1,000 of Canadian $2 coins. And amazingly, we're up 10 cents. So you know what? Maybe you can profit coin roll hunting. Well, in my experience, that isn't necessarily the case. But we were up 10 cents today. That's pretty awesome. We found a bunch of low mintage commemoratives. Starting in 2020, we got a couple of the Victory. We got the 2021 Insulin. A couple of the 2022 Summit Series. This one here in front, really nice. A couple of really nice Reappel. And a few of the RCAF. We got a few really nice other ones here, some older ones. We got a beautiful 1996. We got this gorgeous 2000 Knowledge, really, really nice. And we got a nice 2007. I'll check all of those against my collection. Of course, we also did get some fakes. We got 4 more fakes. 2 of them say 1996, 2 of them say 2004. These are the camel toe toonies. So go check out Brent Mackey's website, www.cameltoetoonies.ca, to learn lots more about these fakes and other fakes too. He's actually cataloged a bunch of different counterfeits. These are the ones that are most prevalent here. They're all over the place. You've seen it every time I do a toonie hunt. I find these fake toonies. And of course, we're always looking for color, and we got a couple of really nice ones. We got a Reappel here. We've had a few of these here over the last number of hunts. I think the find of the day, though, has to be this really nice 2018 Armistice with that red poppy. I find this one very, very infrequently. This one happens to be in really nice condition. Beautiful coin. Love finding those. That's, I think, our find of the day. Well, besides the dime. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you appreciated this video and enjoyed it. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, CAD Roll Hunter, and over 60% of the people who watch my videos have not subscribed. So I would really appreciate it if you hit the button so you can watch all of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. The sponsors of today's video are Lighthouse Canada and the Charlton Press. Lighthouse Canada is the leading supplier of high-quality numismatic supplies in Canada, and the Charlton Press is the leading publisher of coin and paper money catalogs and price guides for Canadian collectors. Go check out their online stores today and use the exclusive discount code CRH20 for 20% off all your purchases.